It is a multi-million-dollar project, 5 years in the making. Now there's a delay in overhauling the state's online retirement benefit system. A News 3 investigation looks into the stall tonight, only at 6.
It's a day of healing and reflection in Sun Prairie. The city remembers one of its own while celebrating the progress made downtown since this summer's deadly gas explosion.
I'm here to tell you that's not bearable.
Letting go of their frustrations in order to move forward. The story behind a message board as Baraboo continues to deal with international attention after a photo shared on social media.
This is News 3 at 6.
5 years and millions of dollars later, a state computer system overhaul is stalled.
The major project to modernize the system offering retirement benefits to thousands of public employees came to a halt earlier this year. News 3's Jessica Arp has been investigating what happened here.
Well, we know tonight that it's possible the state might sue a computer vendor for stopping work on the project earlier this year, but it's unclear whether the state may need to start over on this major system overhaul and what happens to the millions that have already been spent.
It's touted on the State Department of Employee Trust Fund's website as a new web-based system that will aim to modernize how public employees access their information. But News 3 has learned that work on this system halted in March of this year.
Well, it seems like there's a contractual issue with one of the vendors for ETF not fulfilling their agreed-upon contract as far as providing services.
The state contracted in 2013 with a company called Vitech Systems Group to implement a new benefits system serving more than 500,000 current and past members of the state's retirement system. The $22 million contract was supposed to be rolled out over 5 years. But a report sent to lawmakers the week of the 4th of July of this year shows there were issues with the project. The first 2 phases of the project were implemented, but ETF says by the middle of last year, it was, quote, clear the product being developed was not going to meet the requirements to launch My ETF. ETF says they made changes to leadership and asked Vitech to make changes to their product. Vitech asked for more money to complete that work, but the state's contract was fixed in price. On March 27th, Vitech ceased work on the project. They had already been paid at least $8 million. The state's Department of Employee Trust Funds has declined to answer our questions, saying they are consulting with the Department of Justice. The head of the state's group insurance board, which met this week, declined to comment as well. That board was told in June that Vitech walked off the project, which the company disputes. In a statement to News 3, they declined to comment other than to, quote, strongly deny that Vitech ever walked off the project. The state's Joint Finance Committee had years ago requested yearly reports on this project, but many lawmakers had not moved to ask questions of ETF until News 3 raised the issue this week.
As far as from our perspective as Joint Finance, if the ETF needs additional resources to be able to get the original project completed, we'll take a look at that. But I do believe that the original contract should either be honored or that it will end up in some type of litigation.
Now, that may be possible, but DOJ has only told us that the matter remains, quote, under review. Vitech's legal counsel said they would have more information after their own review expected in 4 weeks.
Jessica, thank you.
Sun Prairie is reflecting on this summer's deadly explosion today as the city reopens part of Main Street damaged by the heat of the fire. Amy Reed joins us now from downtown Sun Prairie, where a ceremony wrapped up a short time ago. Amy?
Yeah, that ceremony was just back here on this freshly paved section of Main Street. One of the speakers said that the heat from the explosion back there actually damaged this intersection so much that it needed to be replaced, and there's still a lot more healing that has to be done. The mayor and the chief of the fire department spoke about how the community has made it through this horrible event, and now it's time to move on. They said the time for grieving is done. They said to focus on building each other up and being there for those who need it instead. Now, concern both of them addressed was whether or not it had been enough time and if moving on means that we won't remember, but they both agreed this is something that the Sun Prairie community will remember for a long time, especially since there is still so much work to be done to get the infrastructure back the way that it was.
Amy Reed live in Sun Prairie, and we'll share highlights from this ceremony and other ways the city is moving forward tonight at 10.
Another sunny day for us here in southern Wisconsin. Warmer too, believe it or not. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Charlotte. I would qualify that warmer. Let's just say not as cold. Temperatures are still about 10 to 12 degrees below normal, but compared to the last couple of days, that is an improvement. Let's start out by taking a look at visible cloud track. We had plenty of sunshine today across the state, and that coupled with southerly winds kept temperatures in the mid-30s compared to the mid-20s over the last couple of days. Doppler track free of precipitation across the entire state of Wisconsin. Low temperatures this morning were rather chilly. Here in Madison, we dropped to 13 degrees, but temperatures were in the single digits north and west of the Dells, and high temperatures today generally were in the lower to middle 30s. A few places were closer to 40 out near the Mississippi River, but closer to Lake Michigan temperatures are right around the freezing mark, and current temperatures now have fallen into the 20s from Madison eastward to the west of Madison. Still a few pockets of temperatures in the lower 30s, and wind chills right now are generally in the lower 20s. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will fall into the lower 20s. That'll be an improvement over this morning. And for tomorrow, look for partly sunny skies or high temperature topping out at 41. That's your first alert forecast.
Thank you, Gary. The FBI is looking at more surveillance video taken from near the home of missing Wisconsin teen Jamie Kloss. Jamie's parents, Denise and James, were shot and killed inside their Barron County home nearly 1 month ago. Officers believe Jamie was abducted and not involved in the shooting of her parents. The Barron County Sheriff says the FBI is now looking at surveillance video from outside the county. Investigators have so far cleared more than 2,300 tips in the case. The post of teens appearing to do a Nazi salute has spread all over the world. Since the photo surfaced, we've talked to some of the students who say they are innocent. The photographer of the photo says he told the students to make a, quote, high sign.
But many others say there is no mistaking that Nazi salute. More than 8,000 people across the country have now signed a petition calling for the suspension of the students in the photo. Keely Arthur shares how the community is handling this negative attention. Keely.
Well, residents want people to know all of the good that is Baraboo. So we asked them to tell us what makes Baraboo better than the photo circulating. And many of them did just that this afternoon.
Baraboo is better because there is plenty of good people here.
I think Baraboo is great because of all of our great people, especially the veterans.
Yeah, let's see. I gotta get the most important one down, I guess. I wrote, Baraboo is better because of all the ways that people come together to make the community better. So the Theater Guild, I put community choir.
It's just, they care.
Baraboo is better because it still has that small town feel.
When people have an image of Baraboo, what do you want that image to be?
Good people. Good people. That, like I said, that's silly teenage boys. And a lot of it has to do with the education. I mean, are we not teaching them at home?
Feel. For someone to do something so dramatic and not knowing the history behind it, it's very sad.
That's just sad, and whoever the adult was who supported that should pay some consequences.
There's no place in this world for hate. We're all on this planet trying to get by.
I've been in Baraboo for nearly 50 years, and I'm here to tell you that's not Baraboo.
I mean, a couple issues notwithstanding, this is a great place to be in, to hang around and raise your family, and yeah.
And just last year, Baraboo was ranked by U.S. National News report on its list of up-and-coming American cities. The people we spoke to say that this is a learning experience and they're going to be better for this really tough lesson.
All right, Keely Arthur, and within the last 20 minutes we have learned the school district plans to host a community program to talk about the photo, but it's still unclear exactly when that will happen. Keely, thank you. Meanwhile, the mayor there says a community forum is designed to come up with ways to show that the photo does not represent the city, and that starts 6:30 tomorrow night at the Civic Center.
More than a dozen Wisconsin counties are getting $20,000 to help with mental health services. In our area, Dane and Rock counties are receiving grants from the state's Department of Health Services. Part of the money is going to help provide staff training partnerships with officers and schools. The county's share of property taxes on the average Madison home are expected to go down about $8 under the new Dane County budget.
The 2019 budget was signed today to invest in criminal justice reform, mental health services, also in flood recovery efforts following the aftermath of this summer's historic rainfall. We have a complete list of what's covered, the $630 million budget. It's online at channel3000.com. Governor Scott Walker says he will eventually speak to the media, but is not commenting on his election defeat out of decency. Governor Walker posting on Facebook today saying, quote, the decent thing to do is let Governor-elect Tony Evers have his time to talk about his transition. The governor says he has spoken to Tony Evers since the election.
The governor is urging workers to apply for disaster unemployment assistance. 2 recovery centers are reopening in Marquette and Monroe counties. The centers will open on Saturday and stay open until November 20th. The purpose of it is to help renters, homeowners, and businesses impacted by this summer's storms and historic flooding. This is a look at some of the damage from Marquette County. We have more information about the assistance programs available online at channel3000.com. You will want to take this into consideration if you park on the street. Alternate side parking begins at 1 o'clock tomorrow morning. You'll have to park on the odd side of the street on odd numbered days and on the even side of the street on even numbered days. The restrictions are in place between 1 and 7 o'clock in the morning until the middle of March. The rules are applied for the entire city except the areas on the isthmus considered to be in a snow emergency zone. A mother says her 5-year-old son was dragged down a hallway by a teacher.
And tonight she's sharing her concerns, plus how the district there is responding. That story and more when News 3 at 6 returns.
A teacher at Waterloo Elementary School is on leave tonight for an incident involving a student.
Well, that child's mother says the teacher dragged her 5-year-old son down the hall. Adam Duxter talked with the mother today, shares how the school here is responding. Adam.
Well, Eric, in Charlotte, Catherine Lee says she was upset when she saw with her own eyes what happened to her 5-year-old son. The actions that have led the boy's teacher to be placed on leave today.
He's the lifter-upper in the family.
For Catherine Lee, her son Romel is everything. That's why when she picked him up from school on Thursday, she knew something was wrong.
Man, his eyes are kind of glossy, like he'd been crying, blinking a lot, which means you're holding back tears as we talk.
Lee said that's when her 5-year-old son told her what happened at Waterloo Elementary School that day.
He started to tell me that his teacher had grabbed him inappropriately and dragged him down the hallway. And his exact words was, "He dragged me."
Lee says the following day she visited with the school where she was shown surveillance video of the incident.
He grabs his right hand and he continues to walk as he's on his knees. Totally unacceptable, period.
The Waterloo School District refused an interview today but issued a statement. District leaders say they consider the allegations of misconduct by a staff member a serious matter and say the district will be cooperating alongside law enforcement to obtain all the facts surrounding the allegation. Lee says this isn't enough.
I want to know, has he done this before? Now the school is saying, hopefully we can rebuild his trust with this teacher. That's BS.
Today, I also talked with the Waterloo Police Department and the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office, and both declined to go on camera, but say this incident is something they are still investigating.
Sure, we'll keep an eye on. Adam Duxer reporting. Adam, thank you.
Well, next week, many of us won't have to worry how to cover the cost of our Thanksgiving dinners, but this isn't always the case for some families.
How you can help make their holidays extra festive. That's next on News 3 at 6.
And in weather, look for relatively quiet weather for the next couple of days, but some light snow and maybe some freezing drizzle will arrive by later Friday night into Saturday morning. I'll have your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
A Wisconsin company is giving its employees guns for Christmas. Owners of Ben Shot say the goal is to promote personal safety and team building. Ben Shot is a company in Outagamie County that makes novelty glassware embedded with a bullet to make it look like it's been shot. The company employs 16 people, some of whom have never fired a weapon. The owner says most were excited, but a few did decline the gift, saying they may accept it after taking a gun safety course, something that is required by the executives there.
Starting Saturday, the Goodman Community Center will distribute Thanksgiving baskets to thousands of families in need. WISC is proud to once again partner with the Goodman Community Center and the UW Athletic Department this year. We hope to provide baskets with all the food necessary for a traditional Thanksgiving meal. Right now, we need everything from frozen turkeys, stuffing mix, and canned vegetables. You can give a cash donation, which allows Goodman to buy food at discounted rates. And if you'd like to help out, you can find everything you need to know at channel3000.com.
Many folks already looking ahead to that holiday travel forecast. Gary looks at the more immediate future. Tonight's First Alert forecast, Gary.
Eric will actually look at both of them. We'll start out by taking a look at a little more of an immediate concern. That will be from Friday night into Saturday morning. Next couple of days, quiet with temperatures close to normal. But Saturday morning, we have an alert day in the forecast for light snow that will begin Friday night and could accumulate up to 2 inches, with the heaviest amounts down toward the Illinois state line. And there also could be a little freezing drizzle mixed in as well. So that could lead to slippery road surfaces, especially Saturday morning. Snow potential from our RPM computer model just updated, just dropped the total of Madison just a shade. Dubuque, Iowa also down to just shy of 2 inches. But we're thinking close to 2 inches near the Illinois state line, around an inch in Madison, and then farther to the north, lesser amounts. Some of the other computer models, the European computer model, has the snow a little farther to the south and to the west and a little bit lighter in intensity. The U.S. GFS computer model, a little farther to the north with perhaps a little bit more snow. So you can see the RPM is kind of right in the middle, and that's a good place to at least start the forecast process from. The NAM computer model, this one's being phased out, but still shows a couple of inches of snow, probably less likely than the other models. The Doppler track showing where the snow actually is. Of course, there's none across Wisconsin tonight because all of it's up to the north. Our skies have been clear today. The live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison, our high temperature today topped out at 34 degrees, so a little bit milder than yesterday, but still well below the average high of 45. Low temperature 13, pretty chilly. And right now we're at 29 degrees with clear skies. Winds out of the south-southeast at 8 miles per hour. That will keep temperatures from falling below the 20-degree mark at night. Wind chill is at 21 degrees. Low temperatures this morning, single digits and teens across the state. No, that's actually the wind chill. You can see generally in the 20s. As we take a look at current temperatures, they're in the upper 20s to the lower 30s. As we check out weather track, upper level winds still from the northwest to the south, a big weather system bringing rain and snow through the Ohio Valley and areas to the south. We're going to miss that one. We're actually in between weather systems. That storm system moving through Tennessee and Georgia, another system up to the north and west will bring us some light snow Friday night. In between, temperatures are generally in the 20s and 30s here, but on future track, you can see that weather system to the south, staying to the south, which is good news for us because that could bring accumulating snow. In fact, winter storm warnings are in effect for areas near the Ohio River. 21 for the overnight low temperature tonight, mostly clear and not as cold. Tomorrow's high 41, partly sunny, just a tad milder than today. On future track, those southerly winds will keep low temperatures up into the lower 20s overnight. Tomorrow's high temperatures should top out in the lower 40s. Then for tomorrow night, we'll see a little more cloud cover. That'll keep temperatures in the upper 20s, and then high temperatures will be in the middle to upper 30s to lower 40s on Friday. Snowfall amounts again from Friday night into Saturday, maybe around an inch in Madison, a little heavier to the south. 7 to 10 day forecast. Those temperatures cold for the weekend. Highs only low to mid 30s. A little bit of a warm up as we head toward Thanksgiving with some showers possible Thanksgiving Day night.
One former Badger's looking forward to his bye week in the NFL, and the Packers packed some earplugs for their trip to Seattle. Hang out, sports are fun. They're next. We've established that the Packers and Seahawks have a short week. It's a quick turnaround. It's rough on the body for both teams, but they'll both show up tomorrow in Seattle. Looking for some much-needed momentum. The Packers 0-4 away from Lambeau this season and have lost their last 3 trips to CenturyLink Field. Seattle's 1-2 at home, but their home crowd has created measurable seismic activity, so the Packers will have their extra special listening ears to deal with 12-man.
They cheered not only during the pre-snap, but also when you're in the huddle sometimes. So it's emphasis on your nonverbal communication. And, you know, we haven't always started the quickest up there. So you got to start a little faster, try and take their crowd out, and then kind of withstand the surge that usually comes from that team.
Badgers quarterback Jack Cones had a busy 3 weeks, from the bench to the starter to grab your helmet, the starter just got injured, to you're starting again, probably. Alex Hornibrook's questionable with a concussion, so Saturday could mean Cones' 3rd career start all on the road. Probably not quite the season the sophomore expected, but Cones not shying away from being put into a football pressure cooker.
They're definitely talented, and they're definitely a great team, and it's definitely going to be a big challenge for us. I feel like a lot's been thrown at me, and, you know, starting 2 away games in the Big Ten has definitely prepared me. I just say overall it's just been an amazing experience. Like, this is just stuff I've dreamed of, so it's been a blessing.
Patriots running back James White's as valuable to his team's offense as any skill position player in the league. The former Badger standout leads the team in receiving yards and total touchdowns, but he got shut down Sunday against the Titans. White and the Pats sit at 7-3 and get a much-needed week off.
You know, everybody across the league's banged up, so get those extra few days to kind of heal up, take care of your body, get your mind off football for a little bit. A 6-game stretch will be tough, a lot of division games, and play some other good football teams, so gotta give it our best shot to finish the season off strong. I just try and take care of my body no matter where I touch the ball one time or if I play one play or play 70 plays.
The NBA's toughest strength of schedule belongs to the Bucks, and they're handling it pretty well. 10-3 out of the gate, 2nd best record in the East, and there's a different attitude in the locker room. It's a hungry mindset every night, and the Bucks want to get fed.
We don't want to pass up on any opportunities. Every day is not given to us, and we feel like we have a team that can accomplish great things. And for that, we have to hold ourselves accountable and hold ourselves to a higher standard than we did the years before.
I think the more you're tested throughout the regular season, the more good teams you play, the better off you are for the playoffs, the more prepared you are. So I think it's great. We've played a tough schedule, you know, and hopefully we can get better from that kind of tough test.
Carson Presley Brinson, see, I've already won with the video, was born 7 weeks ago. Houston Texans won their first game after she was born, and they haven't lost since. Players in the team have been tweeting praise. Houston's riding a 6-game winning streak. After an 0-3 start, they lead the AFC South, and they travel to Washington this weekend. She's a big Deshaun Watson fan and a big Watt. I mean, yeah. Who doesn't have the 99 in Houston?
Oh,
so
cute.
Wow. And if they ever had any cold weather, they get a hoodie, but they don't
get
have
her to the stadium.
Yeah, I know. Yes, box seats, everything she wants.
Kevin, thank you. Gary, final check.
Pretty quiet around here right now, just on the cold side. 29 already in Madison, 20s to the east of us, 30s to the west with wind chills right around 20 degrees. Tomorrow and Friday, look for high temperatures around 40. Some light snow Friday night into Saturday morning, maybe mix a little freezing drizzle. An alert day there for perhaps a couple of inches of snow. And then a warm up as we head toward Thanksgiving and some rain Thanksgiving Day night.
All right, Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great evening. We'll see you back here at 10.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.